Hello everyone, I'm Grim, a freelance artist and the creator of the webtoon Pursuer of Truth. And oh man, take it from someone who's been at it since 2019, I made so many mistakes along the way, and I want to help you avoid them. My webcomic is a supernatural crime drama that you can read for free at the link in the description and the comments down below, by the way. I started work on it in 2019 and have been pretty consistent with it since 2021. And honestly, I really went into it pretty blind and inexperienced, so while I was definitely having fun, there are things I absolutely could have done better to make my life easier. To that end, we're going to talk about 6 mistakes I made along the way and what you can do to avoid them. Without further ado, let's jump in. Mistake number 1, not reading other webcomics. If you want to make webcomics or any other medium of art, you need to look at stuff from the medium. If you have to, make yourself a regularly scheduled task or habit to read a few webcomics every week, a few times a week. And if you don't know where to find ones you'll like, go browse the genres on webcomic websites like Webtoons and Tapas and ask your friends. I've learned so much and really enjoyed the webcomics that I've picked up ever since I started doing this myself. Reading other webcomics is important if you want to make your own, because you can learn a lot from what you see, get inspired, and potentially make some new webcomic friends by asking questions about their comic and getting involved. Creating a webcomic is an inherently social thing because you're telling a story for others to enjoy. Knowing what stories the people around you are making and telling will help you with your own, and it'll make you feel more connected to the community, which is really important when you're just starting out and you don't have a large reader base. Mistake number 2, not doing the design work. I know you want to get started on your webcomic, but please, for the love of God, make your reference sheets and design your settings. If you don't know how to make reference sheets or design environments for webcomics, it's time to open YouTube in a new tab and start making yourself a playlist to watch while you have your meals. I say this as someone who didn't make reference sheets for the longest time and still has not designed most of their setting, outside of compiling groups of 3D models for scenes. It makes planning the pages so much harder and it slows down your workflow. Not doing this prep work can lead to phoned-in backgrounds and continuity errors, and those things annoy readers and make them drop your webcomic. The entire point is for people to read your webcomic, so make the experience pleasant for them. Mistake number 3, not learning my tools. I made a lot of work harder on myself by not learning how to use Clip Studio Paint's panels, speech bubble, type tools, vector lines, or line extraction for quite a few chapters. I would highly suggest in that playlist of tutorials you started in the last tip to throw videos about these tools in, one of which can be my video about upgrading your backgrounds with 3D models if you use Clip Studio Paint. I'll link to that in the cards or in the description or the comments, probably all of them. That way it's easy to find. Learning your tools is something that matters because even though it's boring, it will reduce friction in your ability to work on your webcomic. The easier you make your life, the more likely you are to make your pages and successfully tell the story you're wanting to. Mistake number 4, not posting in good places. You need to post your webcomic where your audience already is. That means both where you have your social media following and where people who would be interested in your comic already are. To figure out where you should post your webcomic, look at your existing social media and determine which one has the biggest audience that will support posting your pages to. Also, consider the genre of your webcomic to help you find websites to post it on with readerships that are interested in that genre. For example, if you're making a romance, post it on Webtoons. Romance is extremely popular on Webtoons. This matters because you are making your comic for people to read it. You have to make it easy for people to read your webcomic, because if you don't, they won't know it exists. Mistake number 5, not valuing consistency. Your readership values consistency, so you need to as well as the creator. The webcomic community is used to comics updating regularly. Make yourself a schedule, stick to it, and if you don't have pages to show, you can at least show teasers and works in progress and other trivia to your readers while you make the next part of the story for them. Having a consistent upload schedule is important because readers need to know when to go look for updates. It's kind of like having store hours. If you have to drive to a local cafe to check if it's open or not, you're eventually going to stop going to it the second something distracts you from checking. Consistent upload schedules means your once or twice readers become regulars and long-term fans when they remember, oh, that comic I like updates on Fridays. I should check tomorrow for an update. Mistake number 6. Not experimenting sooner. Some people will tell you to start with smaller comics first. Some people say to give your dream comic a shot. I say to give whatever story you want a shot while you make short, unrelated experiments to the side. To do this, just know what you have as your main story, and then make a point of doing comics that are no bigger than maybe 10 or 15 panels that are totally unrelated to your main project. Push your comfort zone, use unusual tools, and explore new genres. Doing these experiments means you'll be able to pull what you learn into your main project while you make a story that you're passionate about. Honing your skills on smaller projects at the same time means you don't have to put off your creative ambitions while you learn more about how you like to work on your webcomic. And that's all the tips I have for you today. As a recap, just remember, read other webcomics, do the design work, learn your tools, post where your audience is, value consistency, and experiment. I hope this video helps you avoid the same mistakes I made, and honestly, I'm still making some of them, and happy webcomic making. If you have any mistakes you've made and learned from, definitely share them in the comments below so we can all put our heads together and accumulate lots of wisdom in one spot. In the meantime, though, thank you so much for watching. If you learned something new, then consider liking the video and subscribing if you want to see more from me. Speaking of more videos from me, you should go check out the one I made about working on your webcomic consistently. I'm pretty proud of that one. And again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!